Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about Annabelle. Annabelle is an infamous doll who has had films released based on her story. The movie Annabelle and the Conjuring film were both based on the doll and a true story. You might think of Annabelle with widened, lifelike eyes, two plates, and a sinister smile on her face. However, the doll in the movies looks completely different than the original one. The original one was more child-friendly with red hair and a triangle nose. Ever since the films were released by 2014, rumours about the Warren duo had swirled. The real Annabelle doll was gifted to a student nurse as a birthday gift from her mother. The student's name was Donna. Annabelle was bought from a second-hand shop. Donna lived with her roommate at the time, Angie, and Donna was delighted to have the doll, but over time the doll became one of the girls' biggest fears. At the beginning, Annabelle would only make small movements that Angie and Donna would just think that they did by accident, for example falling off the chair. But as time went on, her movements increased. What I mean by that is the doll would just turn up in Angie's room immediately after she was placed on Donna's bed. Their very close friend, Lou, also known as Angie's boyfriend, was frightened of the ragged doll. He seemed to believe it was evil and possessed. Even after all the incidents that occurred, their roommates thought Lou was being paranoid and that Annabelle was an innocent doll and they were the ones to blame for the odd movements. The story of the doll quickly became far more sinister than it already was. The girls started to find various notes around the house. These notes were written on cartridge paper, but neither of the girls had used cartridge paper before. These notes said various things, but most commonly they said things like help us or help Lou. Later on, Annabelle was found with blood on her hands. Donna came home from work as usual and saw Annabelle in her usual spot on her bed, except this time Annabelle's hands were covered in blood. It seemed that the blood was coming from the doll herself. That was the last straw for the girls. The girls had finally decided to call a medium before things got even worse. The first medium that had come sat down with the two girls and Annabelle. She explained that the land which their apartment is on used to be a field. Many years before, a young girl around 7 years old was found dead. Supposedly, when the doll came into the apartment, the girl's spirit, which was still in the fields, possessed the doll because she was fond of it. That's when Annabelle became Annabelle the Haunted Doll. Even though the doll was haunted, Donna and Angie wanted to stay with the doll as they felt sorry for the young girl. The blood that Annabelle was covered in was found out to be Lou's. Maybe she didn't like him or he reminded her of someone, but Lou was the only one she showed her real self to. Lou had bad dreams and visions, etc. of Annabelle, but the attack that made Angie and Donna call the Warrens paranormal investigators was a really bad physical attack. Lou and Angie were spending time together in the apartment when they heard movement in Donna's room. This was really alarming as Donna wasn't home, but they quickly realized that the movement was caused by Annabelle. Lou went into Donna's room, but no one was there except Annabelle. She was sitting on the chair instead of on the bed like she should have been. He walked towards Annabelle, but as he did, a terrible feeling crept over him. All of a sudden, he felt a sharp pain on his chest, and when he checked, he saw a series of claw marks as if someone had scratched him. As no one was in the room, he realized that the marks must have come from Annabelle. What was stranger is that the marks healed straight away, and in about 2 days there were no traces of them. This was when the Warrens were called. A priest was called to the apartment along with the Warrens, and it was soon discovered that Annabelle's goal was to possess Donna's soul. Annabelle was a demon whose spirit was attached to the doll. The Warrens told the roommates that demons don't possess items or things, but they only possess people. The Warrens soon took Annabelle away with them after the priest had exorcised the whole apartment. They decided to drive in the back roads as they were worried that if they drove on the main highways, Annabelle could cause a lot of trouble. Sure enough, they experienced many troubles on the way home, like the brakes failed and the engine kept stalling. The problem stopped for a short while after Ed Warren sprinkled Annabelle with holy water. Once the pair got home, Ed placed Annabelle on the desk, hoping she would be safe there. However, Annabelle showed the Warrens what she was capable of. She was seen levitating many times. As time went on, the activity stopped. The Warrens thought the demon was quiet, but she was later found moving around the house in different rooms and appearing in a completely separate room from where the Warrens had left her. Ed and Lorraine Warren called the priest, but he seemed to think nothing of it. The priest said directly to Annabelle that she couldn't do anything to them because she was just a doll. That might have been the worst mistake ever, as on the way home the priest had been in a car crash. Annabelle the doll is still alive and she can be visited. She's locked in a glass case built by the Warrens to keep her from roaming the house. In the case, there is a warning sign saying "Do not touch," as well as a cross. Some say that they have seen her moving around in the case waiting to be free. Annabelle created lots of havoc in the Conjuring movie, and she definitely did in real life too. This doll is probably one of the scariest tales in history, mainly because she had to be locked up and also because the Warrens didn't manage to actually get rid of the demon that was attached to the doll. Would you dare to go see Annabelle in real life?